So, welcome back to Growing a Yeard. This is day number 366, or it's year 2, day number 1, whatever, it's a Monday. And as promised, I'm going to talk about my beard regimen, the routine that I use to keep this thing under control. Now, let me be honest with you. When I first get up in the morning, this is not a pretty sight, okay? Beard kind of goes everywhere. Hair is really wild. Mustache is all straight down in my face, in my mouth. It's not a good thing. My wife is a patient woman with very poor eyesight. First thing in the morning, when I go to take a shower, before you get in the shower, before you brush or comb or do anything, it's not step number 1. I mean, obviously, you get up, you go to the bathroom, and you scratch yourself inappropriately because that's what guys do. Okay, so let's call that step 0. And then step number 1 is brush your teeth. You're going to get a little bit of toothpaste right here. And even if you wipe it out and everything really carefully, it's going to be kind of weird and sticky and it's just gross. And of course, if you have a big mustache, you're going to mess up your mustache as well. So, brush your teeth. And I figure since, I'm worried about the foam and I'm going to get in the shower right afterwards, you might as well just have a good time with it, right? So just go for it. Just foam everywhere. So basically, I like to brush my teeth until I look like a rabid dog, until I look like maybe I'm a werewolf. Then you get in the shower, and the very first thing I do after I get everything wet is I don't use shampoo on my beard, ever. I do what's called co-washing, which is I use conditioner instead of shampoo. And so I use a kind of a rich, creamy conditioner, the same thing my wife uses. And I thin it in my hand with water. And then I put that through the whole beard and the mustache and get it good and saturated. And I leave that on while I wash my hair and do all the other stuff that I have to do, shave my legs and trim my bikini line and all that kind of stuff. Once that's all taken care of, then I rinse out the conditioner. When I get out of the shower, I will towel my hair off quite vigorously, but I'm very careful with the towel on the beard. I kind of roll the beard up in a towel like this, give it a squeeze. So once I get the beard somewhat dry, it's still pretty wet at this point, I will put in my beard oil, okay? I traditionally use a scented beard oil like stuff from Universal Beard, but also because I live in Korea and sometimes beard oil takes a little while to ship here, I will also use hair oil. The two that I like to use, one is a vitamin E oil, which I really like the feel of. The other is a 100% argan oil. You can find them both in an unscented or very lightly scented kind of thing. Even the unscented just kind of smells nutty, and I like to use those. Those are both products that I have learned about through my wife, because my wife at one time had very, very long hair. She still has pretty long hair, but she was all into treating her hair with oil, and her hair is lovely because of it. So I gave it a try, and I actually really like the way it feels. It also feels good on the skin. So if you don't have beard oil, look for vitamin E or argan oil or something like that. Once that's in, then I take a blow dryer on no heat, just cool air, and I dry this area right here, because this is the area that gives me the biggest problems with itching. And I got this idea from Josh at Universal Beard. He suggested that the reason, or at least part of the reason, that my chin was giving me so much trouble was that this is a really thick part of the beard and it stays wet for a long period of time. And that wetness on your chin will make the skin irritated. So once I started doing that, it really helped. Now there's one other step that I do, which was sort of the final solution for the itching problem, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I dry this, no heat, just air. And then I will get my comb. It's a comb like this, and get everything combed down, kind of going the direction I want it to go. So anyway, get everything smoothed down, looking pretty good. And at this point, my beard's still really wet, but it's it gets really curly and weird right here because my beard wants to naturally curl away from my face. So I will put in beard balm, which is a styling aid. Some guys use it for moisturizing purposes, but it's basically just a styling aid for me. And I put it here and down the sides. I don't usually put beard balm down the middle because I don't really need it, so I usually just put it here. And then I will take a boar's bristle brush and the blow dryer on low. And I will blow dry this section right here down with the blow dryer, and the same on this side. I do it with the boar's bristle brush because there's a lot of traction there, you know, like it pulls the hair down really well, and a little bit of heat gets it to lay nice and flat. So once that's done, and I got the beard looking how I want it to look, then I start worrying about the mustache. Now, the beard, I can get the beard where I want it to be 99.9% of the time. Occasionally I'll have some weird hairs over here that won't lay flat or whatever. And usually I can fix that with more beard balm or with a little more blow drying or, you know, whatever. But the mustache is just a crapshoot. There are days where the mustache takes 2 minutes and it looks great. And then there are days when you're standing in front of the mirror just dicking around with your mustache for like 20 minutes and it doesn't look good. It's not even. You're not happy with it. You got one hair like right here that's just sticking up like that, and no matter what you do, it won't lay down. All that kind of stuff. Perfect is the enemy of good. Like today, I don't feel like my mustache looks all that great. I feel like it's not quite perfectly divided, but whatever. Good enough. Now, the way I get this is my mustache is usually laying straight down. So I take a comb, put it right in the center, and part the mustache out. It won't stay, but I'm just sort of establishing the line. And once I get it established, then I take my mustache wax and I will roll it. I get 2 little small amounts, about half the size of a pea, and I roll it between these 2 fingers to get it to an almost liquid consistency. And then I just kind of put it in like this and kind of encourage the shape. Now, you're not trying to glue your mustache to your face, okay? Save that for competition. But what you're trying to do is encourage it to take the shape you want. And it's probably going to like stick together, and you're going to have some weird spots that are kind of matted together. It's not going to look quite right. Just keep pulling until you have basically the shape you want. And then I come back with a fine-tooth comb and give it a little comb in each direction to kind of lift the hairs apart from one another. So once that's done, I'm basically done with the daily stuff. Now, there are 2 other things that I do that are kind of more weekly or every 10 days. One is I do a deep conditioning thing, and I fill up the bathtub with hot water. I take a plastic cup, and I put about a heaping tablespoon of pure coconut oil in the cup. And then I will go sit in the bathtub, put that cup in the water, and let it melt, let it float in the water and melt. And once the coconut oil is completely liquefied, then I rub that into my entire beard and the mustache. And it's actually really, it took me a while to get used to it. It's actually really gross because it's just slimy, right? It's super slippery. And it drips on your chest, and it's just, blech, it's gross. You're going to have to clean the bathtub when you're done, so you know. But anyway, I do that, and I leave it in for 10 or 15 minutes. And then after that kind of treatment, I don't usually wash the beard super intensely. I just rinse it with very warm water, kind of get the excess oil rinsed out. But I leave whatever the beard wants to hold on to, I let it. And generally this is a thing that I do before going to bed. And so I will go to bed you know, beard might feel a little greasy, a little damp, but by the time I wake up in the morning, it's completely absorbed. And that day after the coconut oil is always great. My beard always looks fantastic that day. The other thing that I do once a week or maybe once every 10 days is I will use a clarifying shampoo whenever I feel like my beard's feeling a little heavy because there's too much product in it, or it's just not looking as shiny as I would like. I use Beard Wash, which was also made by Universal Beard. It's a great mint scent, and mint, pepperminty type scents are very cooling. So if you do have any itchiness or hot spots or anything like that, it is very relieving to that. And I'll use that about once a week or once every 10 days. Now there's one other product that I will very occasionally use, and I try not to use it much at all. In fact, I almost don't want to tell you about it because it's not great, but that's hairspray. You know, so I estimated that I was getting my picture taken, 600-700 times a day while I was Santa. I thought it was important to try and lock the beard down a little bit. And so once I got the beard exactly how I wanted it to look, I hit it with hairspray from like a long way away. I hold the can out there, and cover my eyes and just barely hit the beard to kind of just keep things together. I don't like the way it feels. I hate the way it smells. And I would never use it on a regular basis. But, for the kiddies to look good, that's what I do. All right, so this video is already way too long. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about my everyday carry, the bag that I take with me when I need to keep the beard looking decent away from the house. It's a big part of how I look good for Santa over the course of a day. So, if you found this interesting, informational, entertaining, don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, and tomorrow we'll talk about my travel kit. All right? Thanks for watching.